Around the services, we looked at the history of the U.S. Coast Guard's law enforcement role on the water. Today, Coast Guard Petty Officer Adam Eggers shows us how it protects the nation's shores and enforces fisheries laws at sea.
One of the Coast Guard's often overlooked law enforcement missions revolves around protecting the country's fishing industry.
Contact bow!
Just as cleaning and protecting our water and air became top national priorities during the last decade, protecting our oceans and living marine resources is a top priority now.
What we're talking about is a whole ecosystem, and as the scientists have learned more about fisheries and the fishing industry, the more it's become important to protect the entire environment because of the whole nature of how the systems work together.
To begin the process of protecting ocean life, Coast Guard members board and inspect vessels at sea. Boarding vessels is difficult and at times extremely dangerous.
Boarding a vessel at sea is inherently dangerous no matter what type of vessel that you're on, especially when the weather turns, and which is inherent on fishing grounds. The fishermen are fishing whether it's good weather or bad weather, and so we're enforcing the regulations whether it's good weather or bad weather.
Once on board a fishing boat, the boarding teams have a range of violations they are looking for.
We're also looking at their gear, making sure that they have the appropriate types of gear, appropriate nets, that they're not sewn together to catch more than they should be, or to maybe not let the smaller fish get away so that they can breed later. Yes, we check safety gear, especially in the United States. Fishing is one of, on some years, it's even the most dangerous profession.
Another component of guarding the seas is actually guarding the coast, as well as the nation's ports.
In the U.S., the Coast Guard is the nation's leading law enforcement agency on the water, tasked with guarding our country's more than 95,000 miles of coastline.
In response to the growing threats to the nation, the Coast Guard created 13 units called Maritime Safety and Security Teams. These specialized units are capable of providing anti-terrorism protection, underwater port security, tactical boat operations, and vertical insertion capabilities. This past year, the Coast Guard has taken another step in providing quick, multi-layered security by commissioning the Deployable Operations Group, a collection of specialized forces under a single, unified command.
The Coast Guard's the right agency to form and deploy an operations group like this because of our multi-mission character, the fact we are expert in small boat operations, law enforcement boarding, space accountability on vessels, and plus our extensive knowledge in working with the interagency and partnering with stakeholders.
The Coast Guard's ability to grow and adapt has kept the service relevant and effective for over 217 years. And as the threats to the nation's security change, you can bet, so will the Coast Guard. Coast Guard Petty Officer Adam Eggers, Pentagon Channel News.